Man, and speaking of looking forward,
Yes.
this is the part I look forward to every day.
I know.
It's time for New News Sports. It's all about dressing up in drag sports attire and running around. Women wear jockstraps, men wearing stuff too. Sports bras, because y'all got man tits, and we're bringing the sports.
Why would anybody use man tits on an intro of a sports
Because
segment?
all the man tits out there, they
Dude,
know it's an epidemic of
wait a
man
minute.
tits. It's an epidemic.
I don't
It's an
think
epidemic.
I don't think anybody
They don't talk about
relates
it.
when you talk about football and sports. You guys do any of you guys think of man tits?
Because they
no.
just tell them to look at their own. All they gotta do is the max. Y'all know you eating too much,
Okay.
eating too good. I know, me too. That's why you got the man tits. But that's okay. We love you.
I'm
We love you, and you know your woman loves you, and she thinks they are wonderful accompaniment.
You know what?
You're wonderful.
You're wrong. You're wrong, man.
So there we go.
There you go. Okay, you guys, let me just go ahead and start you off with sports because, not too much has happened between the last couple of days. But we know yesterday we had what we call the Michael Vick showing, man. And I'm going to say this, Mario. The first quarter of the game, I know your face was broke. And when I say that,
man.
I don't know. First of all, I can't tell you guys anything new that you didn't see already, right? So I'm not reporting something you already know about. All I know is that it was record-breaking. This dude, he basically dominated the game by himself.
First of all, the first play of the game,
Right.
touchdown pass, Deshaun Jackson.
Done. Now,
Oh
what
man,
this
Vic, okay.
terrible. I mean, the guy was responsible for almost all the touchdowns as it relates to being in either quarterbacking, throwing, running. He had so much impact with doing less. He didn't have to do as much. Now, this is Washington, so what does that mean? No defense or what?
Well, no defense and just a wonderful day too. No, but you can't ignore what was a record-breaking, stellar performance. When you see these kinds of things, really the perspective is that they last a lifetime because you may never. In fact, the announcers say that no one, as far as we know,
Right.
have we ever seen that kind of a performance by a single individual
Not at
across the realm of those parameters. We're talking about passing, running. What amazed me was his willingness to hang in there and not run, and his wisdom and his decision-making, Vic.
Right.
And that's my Vic, not Michael Vick. This is Victor Allen.
Right.
But Vic,
Right.
His choice is so much better, so much
Patience.
more mature. Patience. Let me just tell you guys
Patience,
the stats. The final score, for those you don't know, was Eagles 59, Redskins 28. The Eagles led 35-0 in the second quarter. Vic completed his first 10 passes, and he finished 20 for 28 for 333 yards and 4 touchdowns. He ran 8 times for 80 yards and 2 scores. That moved him past Steve Young into second place in the NFL history for yards rushing by a quarterback.
The message I think that came here is that, everybody's basically, no one saw this coming.
Oh, yeah.
As it relates to them saying, he's going to be an older cat just using his legs. And when you score 6 TDs all time,
yeah.
and you generate history from
yeah.
it. This is not playing the Dallas Cowboys when they were under Wade Phillips. This is not playing Buffalo. This is not playing Carolina Panthers or San Francisco. This is a guy who basically, when you looked at what he was doing, it changed the whole scheme of their defense. You looked at Haynesworth. You looked at everybody. They are dropping back to say, look, we have to drop back because his arm, the part that most people were paying attention to is decision-making and the part of his legs. But the part that I looked at is he has such a great delivery with that left arm. He has a bullet. It is so accurate that most people don't even look at how accurate he's throwing the ball.
And that's a new thing,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, because the whole issue with his career has been his accuracy and consistency.
Right.
He's been tremendously inconsistent.
Right.
Specifically as it relates to accuracy.
Right.
So these are all step-ups in a bunch of places. Patient, playing within the offense.
Right.
Looking like he has a command of the offense.
Right.
And exercising wiser choices, even though one could argue that rib injury was a reminder to him to make wiser choices.
Right.
And so he's doing that.
Yeah, and here's the part that it gets me. Look, we're not a victim of the moment right now. We know progressively this guy has a chance to go ahead and be one of the leaders as it relates to the MVP voting, even though he's missed some time in other games. Okay, he may continue this pathway, but the threat, and you scheme against this guy, do you see a Pittsburgh? Do you see a New England? Do you see a New York Jets having greater and better success because they got better defensives? And I'm not even including the Ravens. The reason why, because I'm just going to say this: the Ravens have good defense. They don't have great defense like they used to. Pittsburgh has been already exposed by New England, so people can scheme against them as well. So you see the formula here. I said, so how do you scheme against a quarterback you don't get to practice against?
Well, let me just say this too: different defenses have looked amazingly different on different days this season. I'm just going to say that,
right?
Because it really has been a range. Hence, Dallas and other folks,
right?
But you wonder, you're going to get to see him now.
That's right.
They have some games left.
They got some games left.
And they got Dallas is in the conference.
That's right. They got to play them. New York Giants, I think they may play them again. So I'm not worried about him as it relates to him having to carry the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles as well. What I'm saying is that give him an extra second like you give Tom Brady. Give him an extra second as it relates to Peyton Manning. When they operate on time and delivery. They have at max 3 seconds to sit back and scan the field, determine their progressions, and then go. This guy moves away from the pocket, something like Tony Romo would do with Dallas, but more accurate, better, deeper threat
right now.
And he holds on. No, I'm going to say this right now. I agree. But every game that he's participated in, he's either come back to bring Philadelphia back, either to win or make the game close. So to me, I'm saying,
no, I love it. I just look for consistency. Remember,
he's being consistent.
Well, yeah, like I said, remember now. It's to me too. It all will come down to how long he lasts too, right?
Right, because
he's got to last the season. He's got to last the season,
right,
to be impactful enough. And so that has to be part of the bag. If not, what'll end up being, let's say he has a bunch of wonderful games and gets hurt and knocked out.
Right.
Then it becomes another one of these spectacle seasons,
right,
where it leaves everything open to question and wonder again.
Right.
And that's why what long term for him to really get the greatness to really achieve what we think is possible, he's got to be able to continue to play like he's playing,
right,
be consistent, and most importantly, avoid injury so that he can put together a full season and postseason.
Right.
So we can see what he can do, because you got to have it. If, like I keep saying, if he gets hurt and goes out before the postseason, then the whole way you look at this changes again.
Well,
it goes back to being, was it a flash and a pad or whatever?
Well, see, the reason why I don't worry about the injuries, because I look at Tom Brady, I look at Peyton Manning, and they really say you can tell what a quarterback, his longevity is based on how many times he gets touched or close to being touched. Brett Favre goes through that a lot. He gets hit and touched a lot. With Mike Vick, you compare how many times the quarterbacks get touched. I looked at Brady over this last game, and somebody went down low on his legs, and I said, oh, guess what? They're about to re-up that injury he had before, because he doesn't move away well.
That's why Vic's choices are so important, right?
Right.
Because with his athletic skill, he can avoid that's what he did in the game that we saw.
Right.
At times he avoided the rush and moved to a different position to complete the pass, but the whole time thinking pass.
That's right.
And that was the difference. He really showed that. Man, and again, no, Vic, I'm rooting for him.
Okay.
I'm just saying these are my concerns, but these are the concerns that are going to be there no matter what. But certainly we got to commend him. And the other thing, no matter what happens in the future, he'll always have that day, that night.
Right.
One of the most, if not the most singularly impressive performance by any individual football player that perhaps I have ever seen in my life.
Yep.
And for many people, it probably was the same.
71% completions of all his passes yesterday, which is very, very high. So here's the question. First question. Will the backup quarterback, Kevin Kolb, ever see another game to start, barring no injury, by Michael Vick this year, Mario?
No, but you had to add that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So that's what I'm saying.
Injury always makes a condition.
This is where it gets back to. No matter what happens, you say Michael Vick, you take a breath, and injury is in the next sentence.
Yeah.
If. There's a big if. Mike, if. So we say the same thing, and I agree with you, and that's how important the issue is. Play like you played. Make the choices that you made this the other, you know,
Gotcha.
and then you will survive, and we'll get to see that.
Next up, here's the. I think we've already addressed this rating, in which, you know, if 10 being best, the perfect percentage rating they have in the NFL. But if you had to rate Michael Vick's quarterback efficiency and accuracy and his production yesterday 1 to 10, what would you give?
It has to be a 10.
I knew
it's
it.
a standard by which all others are to be judged.
Yes, it is. Okay, now going on to the next one. This is interesting because it's going to take us into the next subject. What do you think about McNabb's 5-year, $78 million contract extension that was signed less than maybe 24 to 36 hours ago, based on the performance you saw against his former teammate?
Don't have any problem with that. You know, let me just tell you, I wanted to comment on that because I'm so glad you brought that up. First of all, I think, one, it shows you how Shanahan is.
Right.
And how he comes at you. And he still did his thing, but looked at how Donovan weathered the storm.
Yeah.
Class act, dealt with everything.
Right.
Shanahan made him play the whole game.
Of course.
He played it,
Yeah.
no problem. Did his thing.
Right.
Ran the offense. That's the way, because you have to step up, and Shanahan pushes you. And so he did, but it shows you that also he proved it to them, because by giving him that 5-year, $78 million contract with $40 million guaranteed.
Yep.
That tells you that clip makes it clear.
Right.
That Mike Shanahan has decided that Donovan McNabb could be the centerpiece of his offense.
This is a man right now who is actually 32 to 33 years of age. So 5 years makes it 38. So you see him being effective at least.
Yes, I do, especially because my thing is because it's how smart he is. Unfortunately, he, like Brett Favre, is playing within a system that's inadequate. But he also knows Shanahan is going to make that system more than adequate. And watch when they get more of a running game. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm betting on this one. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm betting on this one. Shanahan and Donovan McNabb, watch how much better they look.
Okay.
They're going to look better every year. And I expect Donovan to be able to thrive because he's with an offensive coach who knows how to use a mobile quarterback, and he's going to make it work, I just think. But Vic, let me tell you something else about his performance before everybody puts it down, okay? He did receive a standing ovation, by the way, and was applauded.
Yep.
He actually ended up finishing 17 for 31
Right.
with 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Ooh.
Right. And some of the interceptions, you wonder about some of the other folks, too, involved.
Right.
But Dimitri Patterson was one of the people who intercepted McNabb twice.
Right.
All right?
I agree.
So that's not the interceptions, yeah. But still, that's not bad. 295 yards, 17.
No, I watched it. I looked at it. He's had 58% passer completions on his passes. It's good.
Yeah.
It's the part that I look at the players. For example, I watched, I was listening to New York Jets lineman. I forgot his name, that he's out right now, I think, on injury. I'm not sure. But he says, when you deal with Michael Vick, you know what you're getting from McNabb. You kind of know what you're getting from him because he's a seasoned guy. He's proven his thing. He says, but when you go up, it's how you thought of Randy Moss and his big day. With Vic, you really are stuck in a place where you go like, I have to assign at least a rover, a man on him. So the part that gets me here is that I don't question whether Vic still has time to earn what he's done so far. It takes more time, and I'm not questioning McNabb. I think he can be there.
Yeah, because to me it's not a comparison.
No,
I mean,
I'm
people
not
love to comparison, but it's just a different kind of. Let's put it like this: Mike Shanahan probably would not covet Vic as his starting quarterback.